Hello everybody and welcome to UPL. My name is Evil. I'm back again in the com box as per usual. Now, we're here for the F2. These are the F1 cars, but we'll carry on like nothing ever happened. Maybe we should get the F2 cars in. That could be a good idea. We'll do that. So, today we have our usual lot of drivers. So, up front, remember, we have Aaron J, who leads the championship on 184 points. Ahead of the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc, currently sitting in P2. That he currently is in 5th position on the grid. Behind them we have Napu here, who I believe is not here. So it'll be Nexus, who's currently down in 15th position right now. He's on his pit in the McLaren. Alongside him, remember, in the championship, 5th place is Cam ahead of Matt. Ayrton Senna is in 7th position from BV, as we're currently looking at Charles Leclerc crossing the line down towards turn number 1. A quick little apex this is into turn number 1. Then you chuck into turn 2. A long flowing right hand before the first of really 3-4 stops 30 seconds. This is the second real chicane. You chuck it in here. Sebastian Vettel went off here in 2019. Now you see other spectacular accidents down that as well. Now chuck it down into what is turn 5. Into this left, right, before going under the bridge as well. The first of the real DRS zones on this lap up. Sure, do not expect any real passes down here. Hard to go up the inside, even hard to go on the outside. Chuck it into the second chicane. Now you come down towards the old hairpin then. And this is always a sight to see as Leclerc backs off of his lap time for the time being. Got the two Renaults there going very close together. So that is BV and Maxi there going close together. And Maxi so far currently in P6, his teammate P4 then. So good showing for the Renault pair so far. Down into the hairpin. Nice and slow now down to what is the old rowing boat area on the left. You'll see, well, on the left right now, you'll see that down the straight. The old rowing boat area, a beautiful island. We're on the Ile Notre Dame, of course, the island. Suck it in there, down into the last chicane. The World Champions on the right, ready to snap you up like a dog. If you go, why one car's been in there recently. Across the line goes Max. He doesn't improve. What about BV, his teammate? That would be no improvement either. He was back out of his lap to help his teammates. Expect a few people to come into the pit lane soon. We've got the two Ferraris. They're getting close together. So expect them to be either giving each other a tow or coming in the pit lane. That's the Leclerc. Slowing to an almost dead halt then. Now he'll get himself going then. So waiting for his tyres to cool down. Now he'll go then. At the last corner. And this is going to be crucial for him. He needs really to get himself up on... Well, he really needs to win this race because his nearest rival is not even in the race. Unless I'm very much mistaken, which I usually am. No, I'm not. So, the championship leader not here. Qualifying 4 minutes to go. And expect any unexpected here. Down into the second row chicane. Down here, you chuck it in right, then left. And then you go up the hill then. Very flat around this circuit. Remember, it is built on a man-made island, I believe, if I'm not too mistaken, reading the history of this place up. First hosted a race in 1970. Of course, it did host an F1 race until a lot later than that. Of course, that being won by the late great Giovanna, and that is an Alfa Romeo in the wall. And let's see, who is that? That must be Crashes in the wall then, surely. Yes, it is. So, let's see what the other Ferrari can do so far. Currently lies himself down in P10 in the championship. That's Kai then. Let's see what he can do. Is Charles Leclerc goes ahead of him there, so rather backed off his lap there. So, not really on any particular lap so far. Just trying to get across the line. Jump up a few positions, because he should jump up to P14 regardless. So far, though, it is Sam then in the Williams. Currently, he lies himself all the way down in, I believe, 12th position in the championship, unless I'm very much mistaken. And he's currently behind Cam, the very fast Red Bull driver, of course, who we saw have some horrific accident just a few days ago in the UPL Classic around Silverstone. And that was a simply spectacular accident, so hopefully nothing bad happens today. Well, we're just having a look to see who else is on the lap so far. We've got one of the McLarens going slow through turn number 1. That is Wild Billy, that going on for the circuit. Now he's got himself stuck. Don't be reversing on the circuit too much, my friend, especially when we're on a like that. Luckily, no one near him, as they all come out now for their final runs in qualification. So this is where we're going to see everyone jump out on circuit and go for their final runs and let's see what they can do. This is going to qualify, and it's always where everyone's going to come in now. Hopefully, we're hoping that they all do not do what they did in the real life F1, which was jump on the circuit at the last possible second, because that didn't end well. The McLaren there were going out of shape though, so he's potentially coming into pit lane. Now he was building up another lap. He hasn't really looks like he hasn't got a lot of fuel in the car, so ready to be going to the pit lane. He will not make it back out, of course. If he does need to pit, he needs about what, 3 minutes to get these laps in. And now the train starts slowing down. Are we going to see anyone out on circuit? Yes, there will be are. So now Paul comes out on the circuit then. We're expecting to see his teammate coming out. No, he's not. So the Rising Sun has retired from the session. So he's happy with that one in the Force India. Or so we say the Racing Point. So just waiting to see who's next across the line. We've got Maxi coming down the last chicane right now. Let's see what he can do. The red and the number 95 then. Up to the line, let's see what he can do then. Currently P6, he's on his outlet, remember, so now he begins his lap. Now, what about Matty? He's coming through turn number 1. Wild Billy said he's had enough, retired the car as well. So that's another one out of qualification with just 50 seconds to go then. So let's see, what is everyone going to do? So, Sam beginning his lap. Beavy saying his lap cuts the corner a little bit. Ayrton Senna out of qualification then, so he's done. Nexus also needs to get a lap in sooner or later. So let's see who is going to be the first driver to cross the line. It must be Cam. Yes, it will be Cam then, the first of these runners to cross the line. He's currently down the hairpin, now down the back straight then, around this beautiful circuit on the Ile Notre Dame then. Down the straight, build the DRS open, and then we fly that up to almost 210 miles an hour. Then you tuck on the brakes, tricky little braking zone here, make sure you don't clap those curves because it's going in that wall. Someone already has been in that, and now exit that, good exit then. We're going to try and take as straight line as possible, and wow, oh dear. And that is not the line you want to be taking. Matty Mile goes up to P2, and for a second I thought he was about to murder a Red Bull. BV stays P3. Now we're looking at down the field. Who is next to cross the line? It must be the Toro, there must be the Alfa Romeo then. And that must be of Zumpy then. Yes, it is then. So let's see what can the Alpha do. Put on those revs then down the straight. And this is always an interesting section. You build it up. Now, down onto the braking zone. Nexus goes P1 there with 1 minute 8.6. That is what you need to do then. So, he was the first across the line. Now, what about Zumpy and Charles Leclerc then? Let's see. The Alfa Romeo can't do it. What about the Ferrari? Taps the wall on the exit of the final corner. Comes to the line. Does he improve? No. Stays in 6th position. Now we're looking down at Napola. And he goes up to, I believe, might have been P3 or 4 there. And it is P2 in the Mercedes. And that is exactly what he needed to do. Nexus on pole position then from the pole. Then comes Sam, Matt in 4th, BB 5th, Zumpy in P6 ahead of Charles Leclerc in P7, Mackie in P8 ahead of the Rising Sun. Then comes Wild Billy, Cam down in P11 ahead of the North Korean Ayrton Senna. Then becomes McGeeds and then Chris. Perkins down in 15th and Kai is down in 16th. Of course, Perkins and Kai both did not set a representative lap time, so it'll be interesting to see what happens in the race, of course. It'll be interesting to see what the weather conditions are as well. Now, in terms of the Constructors' Championship, of course, the Rich Energy Haas team lead it by 300 points to Mercedes 189 points. A very close scrap between them and Ferrari. Only some 12 points between them, 177 points for Ferrari. McLaren down on 120 points ahead of the Williams team on 85. A big gap between those two. A very close four grid down there. We've got Williams, Aston Martin Red Bull Racing. Then we've got Renault, Alfa, Toro Rosso, all within about 30-40 points. And of course, bring up the rear is a Racing Point. So far only on 33 points. Rich Energy, of course, winning 4 races this season, 13 podiums, 3 pole positions, and 4 fastest laps. The most of anyone, the nearest ones to them, is down in Mercedes. 2 wins, 7 podiums, and 2 pole positions, 2 fastest laps. Well, right now then we get underway on the formation. That is McLaren, who of course have had 2 wins, 4 pole positions. Add that to a 5th now then today. So we say a 3rd pole position today, and hopefully going to be trying to go for its 3rd victory this season. Remember, of course, we are here, of course, on a circuit that has first hosted a Formula 1 race in 1978 around the 2.71 mile or 4.36 kilometre circuit. Running its way, of course, around this island, a famous island of the Ile Notre Dame, of course, takes its name, presumably after the tragic building that burned down not too long ago in April, of course, the Notre Dame. Very beautiful place indeed. Of course, look, one of the most relaxed and enjoyable race meetings on the calendar. The Canadian Grand Prix found itself its full home in Montreal, of course. It used to race in different locations. And it was really the nation's first driver to win here. This is Gilles Villeneuve, of course, who tragically died in 1982 and, of course, would have been honoured after his death while the circuit renamed in his honour. Of course, man-made island in the St. Lawrence Seaway, originally constructed. It was used for the Expo 1967, of course. The famous building that you'll occasionally see. I don't think we can see it very easily on board here, but of course around the circuit you can see it. Tall and beautiful, the big dome. Well, right now Nexus is going to be wanting to get on with it as soon as he can, then ahead of Napoli. Sam Saunders in 3rd, Matt in 4th. BV down in 5th, Zump in 6th, Leclerc in 7th, Mackie 8th, Rising Sun down in 9th, ahead of Wild, Cam, and looks like one other car, one of the Haas's invalidated as well. I believe that must be Ayrton Senna. Yes, it is. In trouble on the formation lap. McGee, then we got Chris, Perkins and Kai right down the back there, the Ferrari and the Toro Rosso there, deciding to make some kind of Italian thing. And now they go 2 by 2 then to the line, and they'll start this race. 5 red lights will be ready for the drivers, and when they go off, we'll be underway then. And here we are then. McLaren, Mercedes, then comes the Toro Rosso, then comes the Williams. Who's it going to be to turn number 1? The 5 lights are ready. When they go off, we are underway here in Canada, and it's a long, but we're off then. Good start immediately. One of the Ferraris on the grass immediately. That must be the club. A crucial start for Nexus. Good start from the Mercedes in the background there. Williams and Toro Rosso, everyone in clean through turn number 1 there. Exactly what he needs, but it's McLaren leading there. Down they come then into the second real braking zone and on the circuit. Is everyone going to get it through clean then? Napole, Matt, Sam down into 4th then. Then everyone comes through, everyone clean there, and that is what we need to see there. One of the Ferraris running up the inside, that's Leclerc. Looking up the inside of the Alfa Romeo, gets it through clean then. Good start for him then. He's up to 5th as the Renaults try and battle as well, but everyone clean away on this opening lap. So come down to the braking zone there. So Ferrari, Alfa there, that's about for 5th and 6th, but brilliant start for Nexus. He leads by over a second and a half already. Then comes the battle here between the Mercedes and the Williams there. Bit of argy-bargy through the hairpin, and now this is going to release the Toro Rosso to surely come through in the slipstream. Let's see. Is he going to go slipper up the inside? If he braves up to do so. Now wants to pull to the outside, get the slipstream off that Merc, but cannot do it in the braking zone there. Further back, we're just looking, and we believe that one of the Alfa Romeos have got damage there. There's a car in the wall. Down that must be Cam in the wall. Down there is carnage there. Debris all shooting down into turn number 1. So there's been an issue down there that we haven't seen. And that there, Ayrton Senna off the road in a 5-second time penalty for corner cutting. And we have an issue down the back, we believe, because you've got cars going slowly. And we believe that might have been the Ferrari who's having a look up the inside there as Mikidi down the pits. And we have a Toro Rosso going very slowly. So that's Perkins. He's off the front wing there, so has to have hit the wall in some angle. We haven't seen it yet. Meanwhile, here we go then. Kai having a look up the inside of the Alfa Romeo down in the brakes. Can he get the inside line? Yes, he can then. Then on the brakes, easy through then. So he's now up into P13. Ahead of them, we have a whole gaggle of cars, and that there is Zumpy, where we saw earlier on dropping back, and he has damage as there off the road goes the other Alfa Romeo. So far, that's so good. So Zombie's going to have to come in the pit very early there. That's not what his strategy wanted to do there. He's on the soft compound tyres there and the yellow wall tyres. Yellow flags flying up high, and I'm wondering who that's for. Debris down there again, so someone else has gone off there, and in the pit comes Perkins, then no front wing, of course. He has to stop. And McGeady right down the back, but crucially, Nexus leads so far. A mile gap, by the way, as Mackie gets a 3-second time penalty. Now, Paul there, double the weight. About 4 seconds, I think. 3 seconds down the road. Then comes Matt in the Williams ahead of Sam. And I'm wondering what has happened to Charles Leclerc, because he's dropped down into 8th position. And now we've got yellow flags, and that must be the Rising Sun going the wrong way around the circuit. And yes, it is. He spun the car. Taps the wall for good measure, and he gets himself back going then. So, luckily, the ghosting system doing its job there. But that is not what he wanted to do at the opening of this race. Meanwhile, we also got Chris. He's dropping backwards. He's got no front wing member, so he'll surely have to come in the pit soon there. He's got no grip. He can't turn the car. And when you get no front wing in these cars, you really struggle. Meanwhile, we're on that 3, by the way. And immediately we're having a look at it. So we've got Wild going past Zombie, then Zombie, remember, no front wing either, so he's going to be struggling. In the background, by the way, look here is that Cam. Rubber cuts a corner there, now going to the inside of the Alfa Romeo. Might try and make one cut. Let's see down the inside. Does he get a position 3? Yes, he does that. Just about squeezes him wide there a little bit. The Alfa tries to come back, but cannot do it. Remember, that front wing damage. Meanwhile, Ayrton Senna, another 3-second time penalty. That's up to 8 seconds, I believe, now he has got total. Bit of a scrap potentially going on here between 4th, 5th, down to 6th, maybe even 7th. There we've got this good gaggle of cars there. That's Matt, Maxwell, BV, and Ayrton Senna. Remember, a penalty nonetheless. They're pulling away the look from Charles Leclerc right now, and you can see on board with the Haas driver with another penalty. He's rather pushing the limits right now. Careful to get too many penalties. He's got 8 seconds in 4 laps, and you don't want to be getting too much more than that, because that really will ruin your race. You know, we can just see this slipstream battle right now. He goes all the way up to P3. Sam really the cork in this bottle right now. We've got Sam, Matt, Maxwell, BV, Ayrton Senna then. Then we've got Charles Leclerc in the pit lane then. Now, is that damage I potentially see on the front of that Ferrari, or is that a really early stop? Let's see. Don't see any damage, so it looks like just an early stop then. Get those soft tyres up, get on the mediums, and then go to the end of this race. Right now, Maxwell gets a 3-second time penalty there as Chris picks as well in the other Alfa Romeo. So Kai now to P11 in the other Ferrari, just ahead of his teammate so far. Now that's going to be disappointing for Carl, that his teammate just comes up behind him, and he has already stopped. Well, I have to say, Nexus doing an absolutely phenomenal job right now on those soft compound tyres. He's pulling away very quickly now from the Mercedes. Then comes the Toro Rosso ahead of the Williams pairing there. And then comes both of those Renaults. The 95 leading the 23 so far. Everyone keeping themselves out of major trouble. No major incidents. So 16 drivers in the race. And that is what you want to see so far. Then we're on that 30 laps, give or take, to go. About 29, if my calculations are not mistaken. As very close to the wall. That BV pushing his limit. And want to be very careful you don't go in that wall, because remember, with the champions, it does bite when you go in the wall. Remember, you are a champion. Ayrton Senna in the pit. They meanwhile for 10th position in the Haas car. So Haas maybe not scoring as many points as they want to be this race. Remember, the other driver is not here. Rising Sun, meanwhile, has also a 3-second time penalty. Further down the field, by the way, if we can have a little look, we have a potential battle here. We've got Cam closing up right now on Zumpy, who is still yet to pit, by the way. He still has that front wing damage, so to be honest, he's doing a relatively good job, actually, holding off the Red Bull, who should be waltzing past in theory. He's going to have a lot more grip, because remember, this poor old Alfa Romeo, no front wing. It's rather being like Alfa Romeo used to be back in the 80s, of course. Back when it was very similar. And we have yellow flags, and I'm wondering who that's for. Sector 2. Is that Rising Sun off again? Yes, it is. So he's gone spinning, and has he got damage on that car? Hard to say. Doesn't look like it. If he has, it must be a little bit of M-plate damage, potentially on the front right. We'll see if we can pick up a better camera shot, and we'll let you know on that one in a little bit. McGee right now closing up on Senna. In comes Sam then into the pit then. We're in the Toro Rosso for a new nose as well. So I'm wondering what's happened there. Because new nose, that front end has been absolutely destroyed. Both the left and right end plate are completely shattered. That's all you want to see. So Leclerc then now should jump up. Will be very much ahead. Wondering where Ayrton Senna will be in this gaggle of cars. And he's just ahead of McGee right now in the Mercedes. Should come out behind Sam. Yes, he does. So, seeing your first real stoppers of the race so far. Yellow flags again. Is that the Rising Sun I see coming in the pit? And yes, it is yellow flags. And that is Chris, who's out of the race. And I'm wondering what has happened down there. He was sector 3, so maybe has hit the wall of champions potentially. We'll find out. We go on board actually with your leader. We might be able to see if we can spot a car in the wall anywhere around the circuit, not down here. So yellow flags flying again, so we don't exactly know where the car's gone off the road, but it has gone off the road somewhere, and unfortunately we cannot see where he's gone off. Yellow flags in sector 1 now, so yellow flags flying, and I'm wondering what that's for. So yellow flags flying on the circuit, we don't know where and who, but right now Nexus leads by over 5 seconds, 5.1 so far. He's flying around the circuit. Yellow flags in sector 2, and I'm wondering what's happened there. So yellow flags is flying, though I don't know if that's for an incident or just for some debris. Meanwhile, Maxio trying to line up a pass on Matt so far. Ayrton Senna, another 3-second time penalty as well. And the Rising Sun out the session, and there is the Rising Sun. Right there, stuck on the racing line. On the exit there of the 6th corner, if I'm not too mistaken. That is not a very good place indeed to be stopped on the circuit. Luckily, the ghosting system doing its job, because you don't want to be piling into a car down there at about 100 miles an hour. It's a tricky little corner. Luckily, it's just off the racing line, just about, so they will slot past it. Remember about the Rising Sun, who's managed to get himself back going again, lost the front wing. So going from bad to worse right now for Racing Point. Last in the constructors, and looking like little to no point yet again for them there, as up front you can just see one of the Ferraris closing up. Camber penalty as in the pit comes Nexus. Well, right now we have Matt and Maxil, so I say battling together right now. The Renault trying to line up a move on the Williams there. Behind them we have the McLaren just sitting comfortably behind. Then Zumpy, who still, by the way, we believe has that front wing damage. Yes, he is, but he is closing up as, oh dear. And that there is Matt, who is disconnected. Hopefully he'll get himself back through, though. That's going to allow the McLaren to come through, as well as a Perkins out the recession as well. I'm wondering where that is. So Perkins out, and that's in sector 3. So, hard to say where that is. He must have hit the wall of champions or something, but Perkins out as well. No safety car to be seen as the McLaren starts closing up on the back of that Renault. And remember, this is the crucial little situation right now where everyone needs to be doing their job and getting closer into this race as they come down to the corners. In comes the Renault. The McLaren release them for the time being. That's what he needs to be then. So, Renault in. That releases the Alfa Romeo. Very wide. There goes the other McLaren in the background. Oh, that must be of Nexus. Almost tapping the wall there. So, McLaren does not need to be going too aggressive right now. He leads this race by a massive margin. And what he doesn't need is to throw it away. And just about that there is Wild Billy hitting the wall. That there is also what we just mentioned did not need to do. Yellow flags flying, and that there is the Mercedes going round into the last corner. And has he got the car damaged? Has he got it going again? Yes, he has. Has he got damage though? I believe he might have got a very lucky yes. He has no damage. Good luck for him. And meanwhile, looking at Ayrton Senna here, he's not doing the best job. So far, this does allow, by the way, that we have gotten a pole in the lead of this race. We expect him to come in the pit sooner rather than later, but he is leading. Yellow flags in sector 2, and that is now Ayrton Senna out of the race, and he's pulled off there down the end of the straight, doing a Fernando Alonso then. That's 3 retirements there, almost 4 in technicality, maybe 5 unless Matt can get himself back in, because remember, he is out as well, unless he can get himself back in the server. Ayrton Senna, like, in the wall and out of the race as well. And this is absolutely incredible right now. We got McGee there down here, battling with the Ferrari so far. So that's Kai and McGee trying to look up the inside potentially into the last chicane. Won't do it there. Now going to go to exit. And let's see, can he slingshot himself down there? The inside is an opportunity. Now he has to go to the outside. The Ferrari gives him a squeeze. Side by side down towards turn 1. The Ferrari gives him a squeeze. Is that Mark close enough to go around the outside? No, he's not then. Matt's rejoined. A 3-second time penalty for Cab. He's just ahead of this group of cars. As this great scrap, by the way, down here for P11 and 12. Crack on then. And so far, the Ferrari just about holding off that Mercedes. Exactly what he needs to do. But right now, McLaren 2 and 3. And now, the McLaren now 2 and 4. His next is now 3. Here we go then. Battling again. Mercedes back around the outside. Puts himself on the grass. As he tries to come through, he's desperate. He's desperate. He needs to try and come through as soon as he can. The Ferrari wiggling and weaving there down the straight, trying to warm those tyres up. And he carefully doesn't go too wide, carefully doesn't make a mistake. DRS activated down this straight. Remember, it's one of the longest straights. You get a double bite of the cherry. So here we go then. Slipstream, which way is he going to go? Is he going to go left? Is he going to go right? The Ferrari goes to the inside, the Merc on the outside. Is he brave on the brakes? Can he do it on the brakes? He tries it. He can't do it. Ferrari still holding this line off here ahead of that Mercedes. Now the second bite of the cherry. DRS wide open. The Ferrari's going to have to cover the inside line, I think. He's just got it, though. Great scrap here for only P11. And there the Mercedes tries again. Has a look up the inside. Contact there. And have they got away with it? Down the brakes. The Merc just still cannot pass that Ferrari. The Ferrari biting a bullet. Here today, he is holding his line fantastically. There we go again then. So this is where he's going to have to try and make a pop. Is he going to try one down into the hairpin? Yes, he is. Down on the brakes. Has he got it? Goes too deep. Ferrari comes back. And that is again what he does not need here. The Ferrari holding his line. The Merc still can't do it. Now he has to look to the inside. And there's contact down the straight. The Ferrari weaving and winding his way. He is not having any of it. You are not coming through, my friend. Now he gets another bite of cherry. The Ferrari's going to cover him up as aggressively as he can. But the Merc finally alongside. Now has the inside line. The Ferrari on the outside. The Merc on the inside. Side by side here in Canada. And the Ferrari still just ahead. Great scrap here for only P12 and 11. And now let's see. Can he get another toe then? Can he try anything? Down towards where the second real DRS zone is. The 3 DRS zones on this circuit. This is the real first on the lap. Now let's see. He's a little bit further back this time around. So he's going to drop back ever so slightly. But awesome battling here around Circuit de Villeneuve. Again on the brakes. The Ferrari just holding that line. Just holding the gap. And now comes the exit speed. We're on lap 14 of 35. That means we've still got about 20 odd laps to go. And here you can see the Ferrari now trying to sliver. The Merc up the inside this time. Late on the brakes. Has he got the inside this time? The Ferrari's still there. And the Merc spins into the wall. And has he got damage? Yes, he has. Oh my God. He's been eaten by the wall as well. And the car, has he got the car going? He's reversing. Front wing is gone. And surely now he's going to have to try and come to the pits. He can't turn the car around. Kai there, very lucky. I don't know if he got damage from that. I think he got away with it. But contacted when you least needed it. Meanwhile, Charles Leclerc closing right up on Maxi then. That done about 4th position so far in this race. Great scrap between these guys, by the way. So far, Nexus leads from Zumpy, who just comes to the pit lane meanwhile. So the gap, by the way, now is almost 13 seconds, I have to say, is it not? It's a very big gap. We're looking at 14 seconds, I believe, between first and second. Yes, it is. So Nexus has got the bit between his teeth. So far, looking down here at Charlie Clark. And he's doing a good job as well. He's closing right up on the back of Maxiel. And he'll be wanting to try and come through as soon as he can. Meanwhile, down the back so far, then we got Bikini to be coming into pit in this lap. Remember, no front wing on that Mercedes. Slows it right down, comes into pit, and then this was the last thing they wanted to contact that with the other car. I believe we have an issue here. Someone's gone off the road, and that's wild off the road then. Now, what's happened there? So he's hit the wall then, I saw debris then, so he's gone off down the end of the straight. Yeah, so he's just parted into the wall, it looks like, down the end of the straight. No safety car yet, slope, so very fortunate stuff there. Meanwhile, Zumpy trying to have a look at Cam right now. This is the battle for P7 and 6. Zumpy, I believe, on those fresher tyres. They have to stop, remember. Zumpy just pitted just a couple of laps ago, so he should be trying to sail past Cam right now. He's doing such a good job with the damage he's got. Now he's got rid of it. So should be trying to come through very early on in this race then. And it's Nexus who leads so far, from Mackie in second, Sam in third, from Leclerc in fourth. And Leclerc, remember, very close to the back of Sam, very close to the back of Maciel as well. These three drivers battling their way for second, third and fourth in this race. And here we go on the board of the Ferrari. The Ferrari trying to figure out. The Ferrari goes up the inside there. Gets the job done there. What's happened to the Merc? One of the Mercs, I think, was that in the background there. I think that's coming through. Who's that? That's actually in the pit lane comes that pulley there. So that must have been a lap car. That must mean Makini. Yes, it was then. He was way down the field. I believe, yes, it is. So he's right behind Leclerc. And he's going to be trying to go a lot faster. Remember, he still has another stop to make because he's on those soft tyres. But of course, he's going to go for the fastest lap of the race. So far then, the order: Nexus leads Maxi in second, Leclerc in third, Nepal in fourth, Zumpy in fifth ahead of Cam. Matt in seventh place. Remember, he is out of the race by technicality unless, of course, he can get back in. Sam in eighth ahead of BV in ninth. Kai in 10th position after that contact with McGee a little ago. And the Rising Sun, of course, spun out of the race earlier on. 4 real retirements. We've got Ward, who's crashed off down in the corner coming up to next. Ayrton said he reported the same place. Perkins, who went off in the first sector, and Chris, who went off, we believe, down at the hairpin. Meanwhile, Leclerc in the pit lane. And I'm wondering why that's for then. Early stop there for Leclerc. That's the second stop of the day. Remember, I believe we may have a 2-stop strategy potentially coming on here. Very intriguing stuff indeed. So, a second stop then from Leclerc. And that puts him right behind his fellow rival Cam. Remember, these two had this great scrap a few races ago, and he taps him, and his Leclerc got damaged. I think he might have got away with it there. There's a bit of contact between Cam and Leclerc there, so Leclerc fighting, and Cam won't be best pleased with that. One bit of contact there. You remember, he is going a lot slower than the other guys, of his drivers around him. Sam also has made his second stop, by the way, so I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there's a 2-stop race rule on this league, so could be very intriguing stuff to see. Lap 19 of 35, just over 15 laps to go. And so far, Cam right now, he's currently P6. He should jump down to, I believe, about P8 or P9. Remember, when everyone else comes in the pit lane. But so far, just trying to open the gap to Leclerc. Meanwhile, a 3-second time penalty. He puts it on very hard. Up front, meanwhile, 20-second lead. Almost got a pit stop ahead now. And that is Nexus. He's doing an absolutely phenomenal job here today. Clouds starting to come over. I do not believe any rain is forecast, according to my sources. So it should be a very dry race. A bit of cloud though coming over. I'm just waiting for Nexus to make, we presume, his second stop then. Potentially will stop on around about lap 28, 29, we believe, and go onto the soft compound, the Red Bull tyres, and then go to the end of the race. The drivers, meanwhile, we're looking at Kai, meanwhile, Cam, as it's been overtaken by the other Toro Rosso, and that is because Cam has lost his end plate. So wondering what's happened there. Lenny's gone and must have made contact with the wall then. So expect to see Cam in the pit lane in a couple of laps time. Then he comes down the straight as soon as he's going to come in the pit lane. So that for the time being then. So no point in coming in the pit just yet. Meanwhile, like Matt decides he is coming in the pit lane then. So the AI deciding it's time to pit. Must be a warning for the other drivers as well. Maybe it's time for them to pit. If the AI needs to pit, maybe the U do too. So he chucks on a set of soft tyres, and away he goes then. So Matt down in P9 should come just ahead of the Ferrari. Be very close between the AI and the and Kai here actually. So let's see. Kai should just get it. Yes, he does. So he's just ahead of the Ferrari. Just about the Ferrari. Fair play, giving room to the AI. Now through he goes. Quite literally, as these two battle away there. That is the battle between AI and non-AI. Above the clouds starting to settle there right now. There's a big snap of oversteer for McGee, and he's struggling a little bit. Meanwhile, Brennan with the pit lane then, so that is the first of the top three to make his second stop. Slows it down now. Yellow wool tyres go on. New front wing as well. That's going to be a long stop. That might allow Zombie to come through, you know. That will allow Zombie to come through. Might well allow Leclerc to come through. Might as well allow Sam to come through as well. Long stop. And this was them. Now he gets himself going. But look ahead. We'll just see it then we can. They're all gone. Everyone's gone ahead of him there. So Sam's ahead. And that has cost him dearly. That front wing change has cost him at least one position there, potentially. And that is not what you need to do there. So Zumpy, Leclerc, Sam all closing up on each other right now. Mackie will be going very quick right now till the end of this race. Remember, those tyres will start going off. So remember, Nexus right now is in the prime opportunity actually to win this race, because he's still on those he still has another stop to pit, remember, but he's got a pit stop margin ahead of the cars behind him. And remember, when Zombie pits, which he will have to do as well, is in the pole as well. Meanwhile, the leader, he's already coming through the middle sector, and the leaders, second place and third place, haven't even come down the back straight yet. Meanwhile, here comes Leclerc then on the Alfa Romeo. The Alfa shouldn't put up too much of a fight. Then up the inside he comes. Then down on the brakes. Easy stuff there for Leclerc. Snatches that position quite easily. On the exit though, the Alfa's going to try and come back. Not a lot he can do though. Straight line speed. The Ferrari DRS open on his cut. Should just maintain that position. Yes, he does that. So he retains into third position. Zumpy down to fourth. Still gets to come in the pit, remember. So he's going to drop himself way down the field. As off goes Sebastian Vettel, it looks like that. Sebastian Leclerc. Or Charles Vettel going off the road then. Back through comes Zumpy. So not as easy as you think. So loads of pushing extremely hard in this race. Pushing each other to the absolute limit. And it doesn't end as well as he wanted to do there, but everything so far so good. We are currently on lap 23 of 35. And so far, looking at the battle here between the two cars, the Alfa Romeo yet to stop, and the Ferrari, who has stopped a member already in this race, and the Ferrari trying to challenge and trying to come through. Another 3-second time penalty there for Leclerc. And he wants to be careful to get too many penalties here as he comes down on the brakes. Up the inside he comes this time again. The Alfa Romeo, fair play, is trying to keep with him. Again, up the inside, the Ferrari one's wide. This is going to all play in hands of the Toro Rosso, who now goes one way to the other. Then back left, then right, then left. As he now wants to try and come through in this race as well. So, utter carnage here in this race. As the sky looks like it may actually start raining. So don't coat your chickens. There's rain potential on the way. As the two Italian teams, the three Italian teams, all battle away then. Alfa Romeo, Ferrari, and Toro Rosso. And the Toro Rosso member is going to get a mega run here. If the Leclerc can't do it, surely Sam can try it. Here we go then. Zumbi's going to cover the inside line. Again, now he just doesn't defend as hard this time around then. He's just trying to mind his own business. Is he going to try and come in the pit lane potentially this time? No, he doesn't. And now let's see then if the Toro Rosso can try and come through as well on the inside line. Be late braking. He does go low on the brake. Down the inside he comes. They are just behind, by the way. McGeady, who's just come in the pit lane. He is a lap down, remember, of course, so he is out of the real running for this race. But it's Leclerc ahead of Sam, and that there is a great scrap between those two drivers. Leclerc having a mistake there, getting out of the way. Don't know what's happened to Leclerc. He's suddenly slowing. Is that a problem for Leclerc? Slowing down slightly. Maybe he had a small... I can't imagine he had a slowdown panic because this game doesn't have it. So I'm curious to see why he's slowed down so suddenly. Whatever the issue, it's cost him a little bit of time. As now he tries to come through again. Can't find the move. Now up the inside. Down on the brakes again on the Alpha. And again back through. But this is not what he needed to do. He needed to be ahead and really battling away. He does not need to be battling here with the Alfa Romeos. He needs really to be up front. Because remember, he's second place in the championship. That's under threat, remember. Because if he keeps what he's doing, he's in fourth position. That is not where he needs to be. He needs really to be up front because remember the championship leader is not here. Remember, of course, the championship leader, the winner of this race is going to get 30 points. 22 for second position and then down to 20. Leclerc's only going to get 17 points, so the gap will come down between the top two, but that isn't really what he wants to do. He really needs to be a lot closer. With 17 points deficit, then we're looking at the Napoleon right now. He's currently second. Actually has a chance potentially of jumping Leclerc because he's got he's currently on what 22 points. You'll get for a win. Sorry, 22 points for second place. 17 to close up by 5 points. It won't be too big. The yellow flags to sector 3, and that is Maxi off the road somewhere. Is that the Wall of Champions? Yes, it is the Wall of Champions. As the other car, the other Renault, almost crashes into him. So I was saying, was doing so well, and it's gone wrong for him. Meanwhile, let's say Matt, the AI Matt's AI, is currently going to be in P8 in this race. And that is incredible for an AI to be beating the Ferrari, the Mercedes, and the Rising Sun. Remember, the Rising Sun also an AI. Remember, Kai and McGee had their own issues earlier on in the race, and they both ran into each other. And that, of course, is why the gap so far between them is so big. There's always 1 minute 3 seconds, set 57 seconds gap between everyone else here. So big gaps between all the drivers. But so far, the real battle up in front is Nexus, who has just made his stop, by the way, and is miles ahead of the second place guy in the pool. So Nexus, who's doing a brilliant job so far, is pulling away. He's got the gap, and he's just finding the time and opening it more and more. Sam in P3 from the class. So Maxi, we believe, by the way, had an incident where he's hit the wall down at the Wall of Champions, and apparently the Wall of Champions has been kicked out for him. So the wall's sticking out more than it should. So that isn't really what he needs to be seeing. So far, like Nexus leading this race. Nepal in second, Sam in third, Leclerc down in fourth, and these drivers doing an absolutely phenomenal drive. All of them there. No issues, no drama. None of them out of the race. The championship contenders all driving faultlessly so far. Cam down in P7, and he's really just in the middle of nowhere right now. Look at Kai right now. He's closing up a little bit right now. Well, not really closing up too much, but he is closing up ever so slightly on Matt so far, but the gap still remains a huge gap between those drivers. So no real way through yet. As in the pit comes Charles Leclerc for another stop. His third stop of the race, so he's going for fastest lap, and that is a 5-second stop go penalty, or something's wrong with Leclerc. Or is that a stop go? I believe potentially, yes it was, as Maxi retires from the session and leaves the session as well. And that isn't really what he wanted to do there, so he should come out. Now, the question is, can he close up to Beavy? Remember, we're still waiting for Zombie to stop, as well as Nepal there, so it might really allow Sam to come through into P3. But I wonder, Leclerc, he could have stayed out, could have got more points in this race. Remember, he stopped early, and that's really cost him. Right now, we're looking at second place right now with some 6 laps to go. Yellow flag set to 3, and that is Kai in the wall now, in the Ferrari, on home turf, and the wall, like they said, is completely and utterly torn open. And surely that has to be a safety car there, or a red flag in real life. The wall completely torn off the road, and you've got to be careful. All these drivers now are going to be running right up against the wall. That is now completely and utterly sticking out on the side of the race circle. Look at it there. Incredible stuff. I've never seen a wall like that. Sticking out is absolutely destroyed. This is phenomenal. Carnage here, and that's going to be causing surely issues for all the drivers. Remember, when the wall sticks out like that, that is not what you want to see. That's absolutely a shock, to say the least. That is sticking out that wide. Look at it there. You have to, if you go wide, you're going in the wall. Look at it. It's absolutely incredible. Never have I ever seen a wall sticking out like that before. That is remarkable, to say the least. Absolutely remarkable. I don't think I've ever seen something quite so like that in my entire life. Nonetheless, though, Nexus still leads this race with Nepal, Sam, Zumpy, Beavy. Then comes Leclerc, who is closing up, by the way, very rapidly on the back of the other car. So let's see if that could be a potential for an overtake in this race between those two. We'll find out, of course. There's a long way to come in this race. The gap closing and closing now between these two drivers. And for what has been a very exciting topsy-turvy race, we must just say that Leclerc, who's made another stop ahead of everyone, right now could theoretically put himself up to P5, maybe even P4, because Zumpy's still yet to stop. So yeah, we might have to get up to P4 in this race. It'll be a remarkable job for him. If, of course, he can do it. Well, he's still got a little while to go then. Here we go, on the outside, tries to pick a pass there on Beavy. Beavy says, you're not coming through there, my friend. So he just has to sit back, relax. Now let's see, is he going to try on the outside of the hairpin? Yes, he thinks about it again. Beavy again positions the car well, but he contact there. That might do a little bit of front wing damage there, potentially, on his car. As Beavy making himself a little bit of a nuisance there to Leclerc, who's going to be trying to come through again. Now he's alongside, now he's ahead. Ferrari versus Renault, and the Renault could do absolutely nothing there. You know, Cam right now is currently still in P7. You can just see as they go down here, they're all avoiding that wall right now. You go wide, you're in the wall. Leclerc another time penalty meanwhile, so there is a chance, but there is almost 6 cars out of the race. We're on lap 31, coming on to lap 32. Your race leader. Comfortable lead over 17 seconds, actually 27 seconds, we believe, because Napola and Zumpy still yet to make their one stop. Well, so we say their second stop of the afternoon. But just incredibly, we'll take you through the retirements. Kai, who hit the wall. Maxi, who hit the wall at the Wall of Champions. Wide, who pulled off at, down at the turn 6-7 complex. As well as Ayrton Senna. Perkins, who hit the Wall of Champions. And Chris, who I believe also hit the Wall of Champions as well. 4 drivers out in the one real corner. But six retirements out of the 16 that started. Absolutely incredible scenes here today. But right now, Nexus, who's doing a phenomenal job up front, open that gap ever so slightly right now. It's almost 21 seconds. To be honest, he can make another stop if he wanted to and still almost come out and win this race. In fact, if Nepal still has to come in the pits, which I believe he does, he can pit. We don't believe he will pit, of course, but in theory he could. Leclerc, meanwhile, has got that gap a little bit open right now. And no real chance to try and come through on Zombie, by the way. And that's because he still has to stop, which we believe he might have to stop, but I'm not counting my chickens on it. Down the brakes low as they come then. As Kai has decided he's had enough. He left the session as almost Nepal in the Wall of Champions as well. We just saw it there, clipping the wall. And he got very lucky indeed. Absolutely incredible. Never have I seen something like that before. And the driver is pushing incredibly hard. We're on that 33 of 35 then, with just over 2-3 laps to go then. Your leader, 20.5 seconds so far. Nepal so far in P2. He's potentially has enough stop, but hard to tell if he is going to stop or not. Sam from Zumpy, Leclerc, Beavy, Cam, Matt, MC Gledglen, and then comes the Rising Sun. Here we are on that 34. What a phenomenal race, I must say, for Nexus, who's surely showing himself the class of the field today. He's so far the champions, I believe he's in P5. The McLaren so far. We'll just have a little check if we can of where he currently lies in the championship. So far then, he's all the way down in 4th position on 108 points. This race win will jump him potentially all the way up to P2 in the championship. He's 30 points for a victory, so it will jump him very much ahead of Nepal potentially. Might jump in ahead of Leclerc as well. He's down in 5th position, not having the best of afternoons there, the Ferrari. Only one in this race as well, as the only McLaren as well, and the only real Mercedes in this top group as well, though. Fair play to McGee, who's kept the car going, as well as the Rising Sun. I must say, by the way, Matt, who is an AI, is currently in 8th, and has some 12-second gap to the car behind. He's getting lapped there by Nepal right now, and the other Mercedes. But doing a good job. Meanwhile, then, starting the last lap here in Canada, then, the Circuit of Gilles Villeneuve. We are now on the final lap, then, here today, then, it is Nexus who begins the final lap, then. White flag is out. Nepal in 2nd. Sam is in 3rd, ahead of Zumpy, Leclerc, and Beavy. But what an afternoon of racing here we've seen as well. Carnage, drama, excitement. Crashes as well, crashes galore, I must say. But everyone keeping themselves relatively clean. No, oh, no, I had to say it. No one's making mistakes. And there, McGee goes round. Has he got damage? I think he got away with it. Yes, he has. Very lucky boy indeed. Well, here goes Nexus then. He took the lead. He started on pole. He stayed on pole. He's going to take the check and he believe has the fast lap as well. Nexus then comes down then into the final chicane. All he has to do is watch out for the wall that sits on the right. He comes through then. Nexus wins the Canadian Grand Prix in style by over a pit stop ahead. Almost 23 seconds. They're miles back, and Nexus, who's going to be cheering, he's going to be celebrating his way around the circuit. He wins this race. Napula through the last corner. He's going to finish down in P2 there. Happy result for him then, not what he wanted to see. Sam then in P3 with a time penalty just on the end of the server as well. He finishes P3 then in the Toro Rosso then. Zumpy is going to finish down in P number 4. He crosses the line there. Happy result for him in the Alfa Romeo. Leclerc down in P5. BV likely to be P6. Remember, like we still got that last chicane to come through. No one wants to hit that. Leclerc survived it. Leclerc then P5. The Renault then BV P6. Cam for the last corner. He'll be in P7. Look at the wall. Absolutely incredible how torn up it is. And Matt P8 then. And that there is your official rundown then of your top 8. But it's Nexus who dominates this afternoon's proceedings. McLaren then on the top step of the podium alongside him, Mercedes and the famous Toro Rosso as well. Well, after what has been an exciting race, let's have a look through your rundown then. Nexus wins, extending his gap towards the leaders then. Napoleon second, meaning the lead to the top comes down as ever the leader wasn't here. Sam in third ahead of Zombie, the Clara, disappointing fifth position for him. BV in sixth, Cam in seventh, Matt eighth. McGee in ninth, lucky to survive that last lap shunt. Rising Sun in 10th. Now the retirements from this race, Kai, Mackie, Wide, Ayrton Senna, Perkins and Chris all out of this race. 16 drivers showed up, 10 finished. Well, join us next week when we return around this circuit. My name's been Evil, and only Evil. Thank you for joining us on my beautiful channel. We'll see you next time. Ta-ra and take care.